Three women who prove that leadership, service, and spirit don't end when the game does. These former Jacksonville Jaguar cheerleaders once brought pride to the sidelines. Today, they continue to uplift the Jacksonville community. I had the chance to meet with them and see how they're using their platforms to inspire and lead. Missy Metz, principal at Coppergate Elementary and Art School in Middleburg, is also president of the Roar Alumni Association.
I'll tell you, a lot of my Roar alumni sisters encouraged me to do it because I was very hesitant because I work in a very demanding job. I'm a mom. I'm working on my doctorate degree. I don't necessarily have the time, but a lot of the girls that I cheered with, that cheered after me, that cheered before me, that I grew up admiring, they all felt, Missy, you're the right person to take on this role.
Missy is a hands-on leader with a special bond with her students.
One of the biggest things that educators need to keep in mind is that we are here for all students and making sure that all students receive a quality education. Whether you are a student with a learning disability, whether you are a multilingual learner, you might be the brightest student in the class, but every child deserves a quality education.
She's also added a personal touch to her school by incorporating her cheer and dance background into the curriculum.
And you told me before the interview that you started the dance studio here at the art school. You're the first one to bring up that idea. Does that reflect your background at the Roar?
Oh, it absolutely does. And I get here and I'm like, you can't have an art school without a dance program.
Missy's passion for education began with a personal experience.
I did ultimately decide to go into education, but I started out as a special education teacher, and I did have a particular source of inspiration for that. My cousin, who is a couple years older than I am, suffered a traumatic brain injury when he was about 2 years old, and he was left significantly disabled. Growing up with him and seeing the challenges and everything that he faced on a day-to-day really inspired me to become a special education teacher.
Kayla Sharp is also a Roar alumni. Her path to cheerleading was inspired by her daughter.
I decided to cheer because I had a daughter named Skylar that had Down syndrome, and the Weavers actually owned the Jaguars at the time, and they were really big into that community, so I really just wanted to meet other people. So not having a real dance background, I just wanted to dive in as a young mom to really be involved in the community. That's really why I tried out for cheerleading.
And you've raised over $100,000 for Best Buddies. Can you talk a little bit about the activities or foundations that you do for that?
Yeah, so there's a gala every year for Best Buddies. It's always towards November. They also have a walk in the springtime, but it's Champion of the Year. So I was Champion of the Year and I was paired with my daughter. She was my mission partner. So we just raise as much money as possible, and then that night at the gala where they raise the most money, whoever raises the most money wins, and we actually won Champion of the Year and actually raised the most money ever in Jacksonville.
Sharp's deep involvement with local organizations stem from her time as a cheerleader.
Being on the Jags really taught me community because of all the appearances you got to do and all the people you got to meet. So staying connected with all those charities that I met through that process has been huge. I mean, one of them is the Down Syndrome Association of Jacksonville, and obviously they've impacted my life a lot, immensely, and I'm still involved with them, and then Best Buddies kind of came along the way, but I think just that community feel for Jaguars really taught me to carry that through my life and business.
Now the founder of Atlantic Trust Mortgage, Sharp credits their relationships she built through cheerleading as a foundation for her business's success.
And that resonates very much with mortgage because it's all about relationships and connections.
She remains active in the Jaguars Cheer Alumni Group, which she calls a true sisterhood.
I haven't cheered in a long time, but I can tell you every time we get together, it's like we never left each other. We still support each other in business, life, and all the things.
Sharp hopes her journey inspires other young women to stay determined and follow their dreams.
What advice would you give to young women looking to either go into cheerleading, go into the professional field? What advice would you give the next generation?
I would say if you want to do something, do it. Don't listen to all the noise, because there were so many times growing up that people would make me question some things that I wanted to do, and they would make me kind of not believe that I was capable. A lot of the things I've done outside of cheerleading has been very man's world, and as a female, it's so cool to make an impact in this industry as a female. So do anything you want to do and never give up.
Roar alum Lori Jarvis is a woman of many roles. She's a co-owner of Cool Moose Cafe alongside her husband, a mom of 2 boys, and now pursuing a career in medical sales. Jarvis says cheerleading helped her grow out of her shell.
I am extremely shy, which is interesting, right? Because I'm an introvert that operates as an extrovert. And so I started cheerleading at a young age and I really enjoyed it. So I cheered in elementary school all the way into college and then had the opportunity to cheer at the NFL level.
Jarvis's journey with the Roar wasn't easy. She tried out multiple times before finally making the team, then went on to cheer for 5 seasons. She says the perseverance carries into her business and mentoring work.
My story with the Jags is I tried out 3 times. And so when it comes to entrepreneurship, you can't give up. You always have to evolve. You always have to find a way because there will be hardship.
In addition to cheering, Jarvis worked at Cool Moose Cafe and says both roles allowed her to serve her community, something she takes great pride in. But her biggest passion is mentorship.
If you know me, I think mentorship is huge. You have to have that in your life. If you've had the ability to get mentored, you need to be a person that stewards that as well. And so I can think about this young man, and it just was recently that he came up to me and he was like, "Miss Lori, I'm gonna be a fashion designer." And I was like, "I believe in you." And he's like, "You're like the first person that can believe in me." And I think that what's interesting is that a lot of people shoot down like dreams and ideas and try to box you. And I think what I love about mentoring and supporting is that let's dream big, but let's also like give you the tools in order to support that.
These cheer alumni aren't just reliving memories. They're shaping the future through mentorship, community impact, and dance. They teach their students to be strong and confident. I'm Alexa Conroy, Channel 4, the local station.